What's up guys, Ben Milliken here, back from Mystery Tackle Box. In today's video, we're gonna talk about one of the strangest and craziest ideas for a bait that I have ever seen before, and that is the Booyah Prank Topwater Popper with a lip on it. A topwater popper with a lip on it? Yeah, I know, I had never seen one before either until I got this one, and I just took it out, fished with it a little bit, and I'm starting to catch some fish on it. They actually eat this thing. It's totally crazy, and it's actually like two baits into one. So in today's video, I'm gonna discuss how I like to fish this thing, the different ways you can fish this thing, the tackle I like to use, when I like to use it, so you guys can go out, use this bait, and catch some more fish. Let's dive into it. Alright, I'll be honest, I took this dude out of the package from the very first time, and I don't think there was any way that it was going to work, it was going to pop properly to be able to catch fish. You know, popper's been a bait that I've caught fish on my entire life. I grew up fishing a popper. I think it was actually my first ever topwater bait that I ended up using, and so I didn't think there was any way with a lip it was going to work properly. Somehow it does, and let's discuss how we can do that. So the way I like to retrieve this bait, you know, obviously with the lip on it, it dives down. So this bait will actually dive down like 1 to 2 feet, not like a wake bait or anything right below the surface. It actually dives down a little bit. So you throw it out there, you can actually work it with your typical popper retrieve, and it pops, it spits water, it does that all pretty well. But the cool thing about it is you can also, after you pop it a few times, just slowly crank that thing down. And I didn't think that it would look like much. It's a blunt-faced minnow profile deal. It actually has a nice wiggle to it, and for whatever reason, I'm getting like all my bites when I pop this thing a few times, let it sit there, kind of wait for those fish to get a good look at it, and then I start reeling it down, and they freaking crush this thing. I can't believe it. You guys are gonna have to seriously go out and try this thing for yourself, but it's just a deadly effective bait that they've never seen before. It's a combination of like a crankbait and a topwater bait all in one, and it has a lot of really nice features too. So this color I got is actually an MTB exclusive. It's a nice bone color. It's got some green on the bottom. Comes with really high quality. They're small hooks, but they're high quality treble hooks, and it has a nice feather treble on the back, which I always like whenever I'm throwing my topwater baits. Now, you might notice something weird. I'm throwing this on spinning tackle, which isn't really my forte, but I really like it for baits that are like 3/8 of an ounce and less that I'm using on top of the water. You can throw it so much better and so much more effectively, especially on days like today when you have a little bit of wind, a little bit of chop on the water, that it's what you want to be throwing. You got to throw it on spinning tackle. Now, to go along with that, I always throw it on braid. I've got like 10, 15, 20 pound braid. Any of those will work. You got to be a little bit careful with 10. I actually broke one off earlier because I was throwing it on 10. I tried to lift it up out of the water and it broke. It was about 2 pounders, so my heart broke as well. But yeah, that's all I throw it on. It's pretty simple. Now, the times you want to throw this bait, this is not a bait that I'm going to take out to the lake when I want to cover a bunch of water, you know, maybe get a good idea, good feel for what the bass are doing that day by really burning up the bank, burning up the grass edge, stuff like that. Now, this is a bait that I throw whenever it's a little bit tougher conditions, whenever it's a low light condition, whenever it's slick, calm, and maybe sunny outside, because it's subtle. It has a nice little soft pop spitting water action, and then of course you're gonna slowly reel it. But the bright side about that is you can crank this bait down and you can slowly work it like a crankbait in situations when they usually wouldn't eat a crankbait. You can do it in those super slick, calm bluebird days. It's just a really unique bait. And of course, this bait's not gonna work well around super heavy grass, heavy cover. You gotta work it on the grass edges, holes in the grass, laydowns next to docks, stuff like that. It's been actually getting whacked for me. It's pretty incredible little bait. You know, get out and throw this thing around. Try out this prank popper. It's a bait that I maybe never would have grabbed off the shelf. And that's, again, one of my favorite things about Mystery Tackle Box is you don't know what you're getting, and it allows you to throw baits that you've possibly never seen before and never would have picked up off the shelf. And now I'm out here throwing this lipped popper and catching fish on it. Catching fish on a bait that I probably would have never ever picked up for any other reason. But it works. Get this in Mystery Tackle Box, get out, throw it on top. Slick, calm conditions, sparse cover, grassland, stuff like that. Go catch me a slaunch. I'm out of here.